Anyway, I am very glad to have Emily with us today. She's going to continue talking about HR issues, and I love the title here, "Training Without Tantrums." That sounds pretty awesome. I think there are a number of us with young children who could imagine a world without tantrums. That would be pretty darn nice. I know Grant's kids never have tantrums, but I have one middle child particularly that likes to. So, and I know Emily's kids are that age too. So, anyway,
Okay.
without further ado, let's get going. If any of you are still waiting, we are having a conference here in another, week, starting on a week from Monday. And we are, just so you know, we are not doing our February Fundamentals of Finance webinar. So, third Thursday, we will not be on. We'll be back on with both regularly scheduled webinars in March. So, with that, let's get going. Thank you, Emily.
All right. You guys can see my slides okay?
Yep.
Here we go. All right. So again, here's what we're talking about today. Today is session 3, setting up new hires for success. Basically, what we're going to focus on today is what happens after you hired and kind of the part that nobody talks about, which is the onboarding, the training, and setting expectations. Most of us struggle because they think that they hired a bad person, or the new hire is dropped into chaos and there's unclear expectations and all of this jazz. And then even when I talk to people about onboarding orientation, there's a couple of memes that come to mind, and I should have dropped them here. But have you guys ever seen that meme where the guy's like got a million things in the background and he's got the cigarette and he's like, ever ask HR about a good employee onboarding experience? And it's really funny. So it doesn't have to be complex, is the point of it. All right. So here's what we're going to cover today. I think this one's going to be a little bit of a quicker session than we normally have. And if possible, if we've got any brave souls out there, I'd love to do a plug and play today as an example. If not, we can just kind of walk through it. And then this is one of the things, the tools that we give you today, John, we're going to I want to email out to
Okay.
all of the clients and everybody on so that they can have this. So it's a simple thing that you can take away from today's call and feel like you've got another tool in your toolbox.
Excellent. And so we can attach those things to when this video drops on YouTube, we can attach those things there.
Yep.
Okay. Awesome.
All right, so let's dive in. So why is training exhausting? And I wish that Mandy and Daniel, who it feels like has been in a couple of years training, why is it exhausting? So to put it quite frankly, living in this world, you're basically doing your job and you're teaching somebody else at the exact same time. Training slows you way down before it's going to speed you up. And then for those of us who are more Excel spreadsheets, dollar signs versus people and ambiguity, this one's going to speak to you. The cost of a new hire is immediate, and your payoff is way delayed, sometimes 6 months down the road. So it's not an immediate, I start shelling out my paychecks, I'm instantly feeling the relief, which I think is a big mistake that people fall into. Most of the work is tribal knowledge. And this isn't just on ranches and farms. This is in manufacturing. Sometimes this is even, I've seen it in other industries. We've been doing the job for so long, we've been living it, and things that we do instinctively, kind of like your heart beating. You don't tell your heart to beat, it just beats. A lot of what we do is tribal knowledge, and it's not actually captured. And it can be exhausting trying to get that out. And words are hard, quite frankly. And then finally, owners and managers confuse help. So somebody's help with they're actually ready to help. All right, so playing off that a little bit, it can be confusing. So what do I mean by help versus ready? So you're the business owner, you're the manager. I hear it every day. You're overwhelmed, you're tired, you're underwater. I get this visual of like in the ocean, and everybody on the ranch is like underwater, and there's just like hands reaching out, and like which hand do you help? And any extra set of hands feels like relief. And so the moment somebody starts day one, your brain goes, oh, help is finally here. Give them that, give them that, give them that. That's not the way it works in reality. And that's not what's going to set your new hire up for success. So, what I mean, help versus ready, help is someone who exists on your business today. They're willing, they've signed on, and eventually they can take work. Ready means they're fully understanding of the job, exactly what your standards of the job are, what the consequences of not doing their job are, and they can execute on all three of those things without supervision. So that's what ready means. And that's the where you're actually getting your payoff with this new hire. And then what we're going to try to accomplish today is getting them from just help showing up to actually ready to help deliver on results. I've got this little thing here. Most problems happen when you treat a new hire like they're ready because they're helping. You've seen it, you probably see it all the time, and you probably don't really even know why. But I think you have to slow down a little bit and understand it's going to get harder before it gets better. All right. Question?
So it's all about you start realizing.
I think we're good. All right.
I think so. Jez, did you have something to say, or was that, I can't tell if that was interference or?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Okay.
no, you're all right. Just want to make sure we weren't missing you.
Good old East Texas can talk fast, so I love interruptions. All right. So what do new hires need? So if you can think of one thing, it's the three R's. This is a really simple put in your brain next time somebody starts, what do they need? It's the role, responsibility, and results. So what is their job? Why does their job exist? What are they actually accountable for? So what are they responsible for? And then what does success look like? What does good look like? How are they winning? If you're vague and you don't have these three things clearly defined, even if you're really good and you've got a position description and these things are all out there, if you haven't verbally communicated it, those new hires are going to fill in the blanks for you. It's going to happen and they're going to do it wrong. So that's why we want to be very clear about having position descriptions is good. Next step is communicating that exactly what the three R's are. John, you got anything with this one?
No, this is great.
Awesome.
Love it.
So when I was thinking through kind of teaching the three R's, one of the things we were talking about tantrums, and I thought a lot about the kids. So anybody with kids or anybody who's babysat or anybody who's been with kids at any point in time, they love to play games. And they love to like change the rules and it's like holy cannoli, how frustrating it is it to not like I'm kind of competitive and I'm okay letting my 3-year-old win, but when it comes to my 7-year-old, I want to win and I'm gonna show you what like mom's cool. Mom's gonna win at this game. But if they're constantly changing the rules and I don't know the scoreboard, and sometimes I don't even know when the game's going to end and I'm just pounding my head against the coffee table, it gets frustrating. And so, not to break it down to that simple of a term, but it can be that way for your new hire. If they don't see the scoreboard and they don't know what winning looks like, and these three things help you know what winning looks like, it's going to be kind of like playing, as Zach likes to say, playing checkers with my sister's kids. I think I butchered that, but think about the scoreboard. You want to know what the rules are. You want to know when you're winning and you want to know when the game ends.
And you want everybody to know that, right?
Everybody, very
Shouldn't be a
transparent.
secret.
Correct.
It's playing cards with my sister's kids.
Playing cards with you. Okay, good.
Thank you, Zach. Not checkers.
Yeah.
Awesome.
My 3-year-old still eats the cards, so I have to be careful.
Oh, well, then the game never ends.
Yeah.
All right. So, too much autonomy too soon. Autonomy is earned, it's not granted. We all love autonomy. We want our new hires to be autonomous as quickly as possible. But you can't just dole that autonomy out willy-nilly. High trust requires high clarity, back to the three R's. Overshooting autonomy can actually create fear, mistakes, mistrust. And again, if you're not clear, they're filling in the blanks, and they're probably filling in the blanks with things that you don't want them filling in the blanks with. So instead of having this autonomy too early, we want to build guardrails. And so one of the things I like to say is when I'm driving, I keep it between the mayonnaise and the mustard. So I can drive between the mayonnaise and the mustard, but I know where the guardrails are. So give them guardrails, don't micromanage them. There's a huge difference there. I pulled this stat here, which is actually kind of mind blowing for me, and I'm in this field. That 70% of those who filled out this Gallup poll said that them leaving willingly was 100% preventable. So that to me shows even if we make a little bit of a difference in this onboarding, it can go a long way as to retaining that person long term, and then even our mindset with the employee. So employees are rarely going to tell you when they're lost. Very few people I know in the non-ag world are going to have the guts to say I'm lost and I need help. Even fewer people in our ag world are going to raise their hand and say I'm lost, I need help. It's just a pride thing. That's what we do. That's who we are. We are a prideful bunch. And so if they're lost, they are going to disengage, and then ultimately it leads to turnover and discontent on your businesses. And then this last thing I threw in there, I can't tell you how many times I've heard this across the board. Somebody would leave. Maybe they gave notice, maybe they didn't, and they come to me because they want to backfill or whatever it is, and they go, "Huh, it's so weird. They seemed fine. They seemed happy. I don't know what happened." To me, that's a code for you as the hiring manager, you as the boss, you as the leader, you as the owner didn't check in. Because if you checked in, you created that trust, you would not have this, they seemed fine. Why did they leave? All right. So 30, 60-day rant plan. And trust me when I tell you, I have seen some 30, 60, 90, some 90-day plans that are so complex it would make an engineer cry. I'm not asking you to make anything complex. I'm not asking you to use an Excel spreadsheet. I'm just saying let's build a simple little plan, and I'm going to give you a template here in a minute, and we can do, John, the live plug and play here. But let's keep it simple. Onboarding shouldn't be a task list. It should be a document that we use to guide our physical conversations and how I'm using this thing to not forget what we're doing. A plan can change everything, even on a ranch. So here's a simple pacing structure that everybody can stick to, and give or take, depending on the industry, this is about right. I mean, because we're really not teaching rocket science. It's pretty simple, some of these things. So really week 1, it's learning the names, learning where the lease places are, learning where the water troughs are. Do I get a lunch? Do I need to wear steel toes? Can I wear my hey dudes? It's just observing. And you really should not expect anything else week 1, whether your week is 5 days or whether it's 7 days. Week 1, you should be extremely patient, and they need to be very patient. And we're just literally looking here. Week 2 is where we're going to start trying tasks. Maybe it's fixing something, maybe it's feeding, maybe it's giving meds, whatever level of, maybe it's moving electric fence. We're trying, but we've got full backup and support there, and every single task that we're accomplishing is with full 100% observation week 2. Starting to get into week 3 and 4 is where we can start letting them go a little bit, but we need check-ins. So, hey, I need you to go to paddock 4. I need you to move the poly wire. I need you to get the sheep into paddock 4. Make sure they have water. Okay, so you know, you've done it before. You know that takes about 30 minutes. Okay, so they go there, they do it, they do all the things. About 30 minutes later, either they need to check in with you or you need to check in with them and say, hey, how'd it go? Do you have any trouble? What'd you miss? That way, again, they've got the guardrails, but you're checking in, giving them the opportunity to go, I had one, the spotted one. It really didn't want to go in. Oh, yeah, that's typical. It'll lag behind. You're good. It'll follow the rest, right? So it gives them clear guidance and it sets up that open door communication to where they're way more comfortable raising their hand saying, I need help. And then when we get into the 60, I'm sorry, into the 30-day, so it's about 1 month. It doesn't have to be exact. Like you don't have to rubber stamp the 30-day here. That's not what I'm saying. Nothing I'm saying is super formal. I want you to do a formal one-on-one check-in. And this can be when you're both in the truck together, having coffee. You can take them to lunch. Regardless of how you want to do it and what makes sense for you and your employee, it needs to be a conversation with just you and the employee. You're sitting down and you're saying, what so far hasn't been clear? And then you just stop talking. That's it. That's all you have to do. And you may sit there in 5 minutes of awkward silence, and that is totally okay because eventually they are going to say something. And maybe it's little, maybe it's big, but then that's your gateway into more conversations around what do we need to do next and how do we get back into this week 1, 2, 3, 4 and between day 30 and day 60? Or are we good and we can start giving that autonomy like we talked about? And then the last thing we're going to want to do is around month 2, so day 60-ish, again, let's not rubber stamp it. We're going to want to assess the autonomy. We're going to ask questions. We're going to give feedback. We're going to give very clear feedback. This is the time to say, hey, we really want everybody at the shop at 7 a.m. You're showing up at 7:15. It's not really working out. It's and then hopefully they're saying, well, I'm showing up at 7:15 because I have to drop the kid at daycare. Okay. Or, hey, I have struggled getting out of bed. I'm an 18-year-old kid. Okay. Well, we need to set your alarm earlier because we have a scrum meeting at 7 a.m. Everybody's here and you need to be here. You're part of the team. So that's the time when we're giving very clear feedback so they know if they're missing in certain areas. We need to course correct really early on. And I promise you, even if it's a little awkward, that person, whoever it is, even if it's a 16-year-old, they are going to appreciate the fact that you were very clear with them and you set those expectations. And then finally, we're going to go back to the 3 R's. We're reaffirming the role, the responsibility, and the wow, I just lost it, and how they win. So make sure that we're going back to that and saying that they exactly know what we're doing, why we're doing it, and what the purpose is and how to win. All right. Before we get into plug and play, you got anything else, John?
No, this is really good.
All right, here we go. Do we have a brave soul out here that wants to help us?
I guarantee we do.
Anybody that's going to have a new hire coming up soon?
Oh, hang on. We got a quick question from Danny Adams. While people are thinking about volunteering, says, can you give an example of the difference between micromanaging and putting up guardrails? What do guardrails look like? Great question.
Oh,
This is actually a very hard one to answer, I think.
yeah. To me, it's one of those things where is there a specific way the water trough needs to get filled? Or does the water trough just need to have water in it all the time? Like if you're getting down to you better be at that water trough at 6 a.m., 12 p.m., 6 p.m. And I need you doing those check-ins, and I don't care if the cows are drinking all the water or not. That's a little bit of micromanaging where you're micromanaging their time. Whereas you're just saying, hey, I need you to check in several times, go check the water trough several times today. Make sure the cows don't run out of water because we're going to have a wreck on our hands if the cows run out of water. That's kind of a crude example, but it's one of those where you've set the guardrails of a couple of times a day. This is why we need the water filled, but you're not saying explicitly 6 a.m., 6:02 p.m. and like being kind of crazy about it. John, are you thinking of any other examples?
Yeah, I think this is one where micromanaging gets a really bad rap. And in the beginning, you probably would weigh a little more towards micromanaging, err a little more on that side. But, do you hold the hose in the left hand or the right hand? I don't know that matters. I think a lot about the things that are important as opposed to the things that I'm accustomed to. So, like filling the trough, it would work if I held the hose in my right hand or my left hand. The important thing is the trough is getting filled, right? So, sometimes to me that's clarifying what the real objective is. But again, you're still I would be biased towards micromanaging the same way I micromanage my kids, right? I give them a list of things to do in the morning, and I'll use Heidi as an example. This morning, I have a list of what they have to accomplish before they go to the bus, and this morning she did 2 of those things on her own, but normally I have to remind everybody of all 7, so I repeat myself a fair amount. But is that micromanaging, or is that just dealing at the level they're at? Like, I think it's the second, but it could look very different to different people.
Well, and I think depending on the task, the why makes a big difference.
Agreed.
Zach and I were talking the other night. There's a story where one of our employees, I think Zach and I were going out of town with to an EL board meeting, and he should have gone to a lease place. So at wintertime, we normally like to gather all of our cows up off of all 72 lease places we have. I don't really know. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but we like to gather we like to gather everything up, and we like to be able to feed in just one big pasture through the wintertime. And we had this employee, and Zach's like, hey, we've got 3 cows out at this one lease place. You need to make sure that we got 2 or 3 cowboys coming. It's a pine thicket. It's a pain in the butt. So you need to make sure before you get all the cows on the trailer to haul them home, make sure you get the 3 cows in with the herd, because if you don't, you're never going to catch those 3, right? We've all been in that situation.
Yeah.
I think the guy had been with us maybe 60 days, maybe 3 months. I can't really remember. Fairly new, right? To me, that wouldn't be micromanaging. It's just kind of saying, here we go.
Word to the wise. Yeah.
Word to the wise, right? The guy totally disregarded us, didn't say anything to the Cowboys. Zach, hindsight, should have said something to the Cowboys. We know these Cowboys. They didn't know that 3 cows were out. Long story short, a few months later, a few $1,000s later, a few calls from the sheriff, like, we finally get these 3 cows, and Emily's pissed because Zach has spent God knows how many hours trying to find these 3 cows in a pine thicket.
Yeah.
So is it micromanaging, or is it just saying, hey, we're not saying you're stupid, but here's the right way to do it?
Yep. And Danny's comment in response is good. So more results based and less on the how, unless the how is extremely important. And I think even if the how is important, then we do that. So I think that's good. That's a good distinction.
Great distinction.
Yeah. But again, if you're doing this with an employee after 3 years with you, that might be a problem. Mm-hmm. Stan, you got a comment? Nice to see you. Mute button is usually down lower left. Maybe not. Let me see if I can help you. There you are.
There it
Good.
Is. So I try to find that line where I don't have to start the next conversation with, hey, I obviously undermanaged this. So that line where I do enough information and monitoring so I don't have to come back and start that conversation where I obviously undermanaged it. I did not deliver enough information type thing.
Yep. Great point.
Yep, that is a great point. And I'll tell you, one of my pet peeves with a new employee, the majority of your guys' new hires are going to be in a truck or, staying maybe in a warehouse. This little thing, like, it's teeny tiny. But if I'm giving you instructions, like day one, you should be giving this little notebook to and they need to be like writing it down. Because if I'm telling you something and you're not writing it down, you're not going to remember it and you're going to drive me crazy.
We also use like a whiteboard in the shop kind of thing. And then we write stuff on that. And then if somebody needs to midday, they can swing in, take a look. Oh yeah, good. That's what I was supposed to do. Tuesday afternoon kind of thing.
Exactly.
Good. All right. Do we want to go into our plug and play? Any other comments before we do that? I think Fiona's got an example, so this would be a good practice.
Yeah.
I was worried you were asleep before, Fiona. You must not be.
Oh, I'm sick as a dog, but I can do
Oh,
a plug and
I'm
play.
sorry.
Yeah.
Well, don't pass it around, please.
What do you got for me, Emily, or am I just answering these questions?
All right, I'm gonna lead you through it. It's gonna be the easiest thing you do today. You ready? All right. I'm hoping that so as you talk, I'm hoping I'm gonna type and I hope it's live for everybody. So if it's not live for everybody, I can't tell. Will y'all let me know? All right. So tell me your role, Fiona, that you are gonna be hiring for, or just hired
An,
for, maybe.
an assistant herd manager.
Okay. All right. So in really like simple terms, what do you want them to be able to do in the first 30 days?
Well, we currently don't have cattle on our place. They're on corn stalks. So I want them to be able to figure out and do all the horse chores themselves every morning. I want to make sure I get them trained up and familiar with the equipment because we've got some infrastructure projects we'll be working on in the next couple months. And um maybe just they become like familiar with some of our maps and the pastures kind of on the ranch.
Very good.
All right. That's phenomenal. Now, this is kind of an optional. In your mind, does it change much by month two? Or are we just kind of expanding on our knowledge here? Because this is kind of an optional one here.
Well, we might have irrigation on and we will definitely have cattle on the place. So, in my mind, they're gonna start to be familiar with the irrigation that we're doing, and they're gonna be excited to be calving and probably fencing as well.
All right, perfect. So in simple terms, thinking about the most expensive mistake they can make, um, something that you can teach versus them just experiencing on their own. What is probably the number one thing that they're just going to need to hands-on do it versus you can actually go out there and tell them how to do horse chores.
Probably it's going to be with the irrigation and the fencing in my mind. It's pretty
Okay.
unique to our ranch, even if you've done like flood ditch irrigation. Like, where are the ditches? Oh, it's on my neighbor's place. And where do I get the water and where do I set the tarps? And then fencing, not only just like perimeter fence, but using temporary electric fence and how are we going to do our breaks?
Awesome. So in your mind, they just have to live through those things one season. It's not something that you can give them a book and say, here's A, B, C, D.
Yeah, I think going out there and doing it with them, get them off on the right foot.
All right, perfect. All right. So here we go. It's assistant herd manager. So in the first 30 days, we want them to be able to figure out horse chores, that they can run the equipment and do your infrastructure stuff without breaking something, and that they know the landscape, the maps, the leases, all of that. In 60 days, we're going to add on top of that, we want them to experience the irrigation, the calving, and then the fencing for your unique operation. Is that right?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Let me see if I can advance the slide without really messing us up here. All right, so let's build this out. Let me see if I can drop this in to chat for everybody, because this is going to be group participation here. All right, can everybody see the slide I dropped into chat?
Yep.
Awesome. All right, here we
Can
go.
you guys see it? If
Yes.
you, okay, good. If you need to, on the chat is on the bottom. If you click on it, it should open up a little pane on the side.
Phenomenal. All right, here we go. So we are in week 1. Well, and I thought I could see it too. Hold on one second. It's minor technical difficulty. Here we go. All right, so week 1, we're observing, we're assisting, and we're learning. All right, so we're going to start with the horse chores. What would you say is the most important thing that they need to observe with the horse chores?
Maybe that our senior horse needs a special pill every day. Or like access to water because it's on the river.
All right. All right, you guys help me out. What was the second thing we talked about after horse chores?
Equipment.
Equipment. All right, so tell me the most important piece of equipment that they're going to need to learn.
Probably the skid steer.
All right, skid steer, 1 word, 2 words. Steer. Steer?
I don't know. Probably one,
I think
maybe
it's
two.
one word, but that's spelled correctly.
Not
No
even sure
judgment
it's a
here,
word.
right? All right, here's what we're rolling with. Okay, what about the skid steer? Do you expect them to observe in week 1?
Observe. Well, I'm hoping to get them trained up to be able to use the masticator so they can masticate our fence lines and our ditches. So maybe they're
So are you
uh
expecting week 1 somebody to hop on that thing? Are you hiring for that? They've run a skid steer their whole life?
no, that's a good point. Um, Maybe they're gonna just observe kind of like the standard operating procedure of how to use the machine and like get it started in the winter, and how to like be safe around the equipment, maybe.
All right. And then let me ask you this. How about maintenance? Are you guys doing any like do you maintenance every time you use it? Do you check the oil every time before you use it? Do you do anything like that?
That's a good point. Yeah, every Friday we do a facility Friday and we do like a quick little maintenance, like fluids and air filters and tires on all of our equipment we've used.
Perfect. All right. And then our third thing was location maps, right?
Yes.
All right. So it's week 1. Are you expecting them to ride all the pastures, ride the entire place with you guys? Do you have physical maps? What are you expecting them to just observe in week 1? Is there like a day 1 we get to ride the paddocks?
Like in the pickup or on horseback?
Either. You tell me.
Oh, yeah, definitely we'll probably give like a tour of the ranch and we've got a physical map, like a laminated map and all the pickups with the pasture names and the roads, to hopefully get them oriented and I'm thinking kind of just show them some of the variability in the range that we have here on the ranch.
All right, perfect. So if we do all 3 of these things and it's the end of week 1 and they know exactly what your senior horse needs, they know where the skid steer is, how to start it up in the wintertime, and then how to check it. And then finally, they've toured the ranch and they have a laminated map or know where the laminated maps are. Maybe they took them home one night, they looked at them, reviewed them. Do you feel like we've had a successful week 1?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. The next 2 should roll pretty fast.
This is great.
So
I'm gonna have to take a picture of this for 2 weeks from now.
we'll send it out to you. And this is what you
I'll
get for
bet
being the
Emily
guinea
will
pig.
send you a copy. How about that? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
If you volunteer, you get perks.
100%.
Great.
Hey, real quick, Fiona, do you have a grazing plan already for the summer of 26?
No, that would be
Okay.
something in the first 60 days that would be
Okay. All right, good. Because
I'd
I
be
was
doing
going to
with
say if
them.
they wanted to kind of familiarize themselves with the order, but if they just familiarize themselves with the pastures, then maybe they can dive into that more. Good. Okay.
All right, awesome. Real quick, what tasks are they doing with the horse chores? Week 2.
They're just feeding them every morning and making sure that they've got, it's been so damn warm, we're not breaking ice on the river, but if it got cold, making sure they've got access to water.
All right. Equipment. We're probably on the skid steer at this point, week 2.
Yeah, I
Eh,
think so. I feel like that's a good little solo project, pretty low stakes if they can do it safely.
all right. And then should they be going around your place week 2, or should they still be with somebody at all times by week 2?
I think they'd probably still be going around with me, just
And you
showing
said
them
horseback or truck?
we'd be in the, we don't have shoes on our, we'd be in the pickup.
All right. We're in week 3 and week 4 of this thing. They are doing this without supervision. Is there anything for the horse chores that you would expect that we haven't cut? Like they should be out there and horse chores should be completely covered?
Yeah, it's very basic, so yeah, I think they get along just fine there.
Covered, unsupervised, right?
Yes.
All right. Equipment. Is there maybe another piece of equipment, or are they operating the skid steer project without somebody there watching them, giving them instructions?
Maybe we have an irrigation project and I get them in the backhoe, potentially.
All right. Where are we at with them finding their way around your place?
Yeah, this would probably be like making the grazing plan with me. And maybe sitting in on that meeting and being a part of it, it probably won't make a ton of sense until they see animals out grazing, but I want them to be in that.
Do you feel like they should now be in a truck riding the place on their own now? They should be getting pretty familiar.
Yeah, probably so.
All right. So this is easy. You're 30 days in. What you're going to do here is you're going to take this really simple thing and you're going to sit down with them and you're going to say, "Hey, these are the 3 things that I expected out of you. What is still unclear?" And they're maybe going to say, "Hey, when I do the horse chores, can I do them in the afternoon instead of the morning because XYZ? When I operate your skid steer, it feels like it may need some oil. Am I going to service that, or do you have somebody that services it?" And then maybe there's still some confusion about riding the pasture or where exactly different paddocks are. This is where they're going to ask those very clear questions. And that's where you ask them what's unclear about these things or anything else. And then you would fill in the rest of this plan here based on the feedback that they gave you.
Gotcha.
And then again, the 60-day here, it's going to be completely optional. But again, we should be at the 60-day mark, assessing the autonomy, giving them feedback. Hey, you're doing a great job with the horses, but good God, it's taking you 4 hours. It should take you 60 minutes, right? Giving them that feedback that, hey, we got to get going, or you're doing all your chores in about 2 hours. It should really take you 4 hours. Are you rushing through it? Are you being methodical about what I said? So that 60-day isn't as important, but I still really encourage it to, again, give the feedback and confirm expectations, making sure, like like last month where we're saying, is it a training or is it a fit issue? So this is really important. Two big milestones where you should be sitting down and having those conversations. So how do you feel now about your onboarding plan?
This is great. Yeah, thanks.
You think if you went through it, do you think it would make sense?
I'd
If
hope
you were the new
so.
hire? Yeah.
I'd hope so. We've got like a lot of SOPs and things like that to hopefully set our new hire up for success. So yeah, I'm confident get along just fine.
Good. And if anything else, this exercise is for you to help you think through because words are hard. When you're in the moment with that person, you're already too late. If you hadn't thought through these things, it's going to be kind of a clunky, bad experience, and that's not the kind of operation you run.
Gotcha.
And the great thing about writing things down is we often see where our sort of mental shortcomings are, right? It exposes the holes like, oh, I forgot about X, right? Stan, I think you had a question, and then we got one in the chat too from Sarah. We'll get to that.
Do. So with a new employee, we go through this, but it looks especially like an ag where we're kind of seasonal, just say the 4 seasons.
Yeah.
Like with Fiona, we didn't get to calving and irrigating. So we've got a employee we have oriented for the winter stuff. We're almost starting a new onboarding plan with that experienced
Yep.
employee each season.
Yep.
And I know I've can get go to sleep on it where somebody gets really good at what we're doing, and then I just start loading stuff on them without a proper onboarding.
Yep.
Yep.
For the
But
new task and the new season, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're
Yeah.
doing great, and I kind of assume they're doing great at everything, and I don't onboard them properly. But this really clears that up, where it looks like it's a continual onboarding, at least for a year or more.
Yep. And
So
I
they've had
I
all the experiences.
I see Sarah's comment is kind of along those same lines. Sarah, it says you've got a seasonal hire and maybe they're only working for 4 to 5 months. Maybe it's an intern you've only got for the summer. I've even seen just December work. I actually, when I was in high school and early in college, I would work a job just while I was home in December. Um, you're 100% accurate. Change these week one, week two, week three. Maybe it's day one, day two, day three, day four. Maybe it's a day zero. Hey, you're starting on day one, but I need you to show up the Friday before we get started. So you've got all of the things you need. You've got this checklist so that when you show up day one, we're rolling. So make this isn't a hard set. Make it fit your operation and make it fit your new hire.
And the good thing is if you've got people that are short, like if I'm hiring you, Emily, just for December, we're going to keep your list fairly short,
Very little.
right? So that
Mhm.
I can get through those things in 3 days and then set you free. My goal is to get you on the payroll doing productive work as quickly as possible, right? So if I try to teach you everything about the whole business and you're only staying for 30 days, like I'm not going to get very far.
Yeah.
Good. Love it.
All right. So your guys as the owner or manager, the checklist here, I have seen so many times in my past history, like it's day one and like somebody wants to give me this checklist and it's like got a million things on it. Not saying you can't do that. Scrap that. Just completely forget about that. The onboarding checklist is for you. It's an internal document to help you keep your stuff together. And so that is, do I need to give them keys to lease places? Do I need to give them keys to the barn? Do you have key codes? Do you have gate codes? Do you need to get them a gas card? Do you need to give them a credit card? Do they need a truck? Tools. I asked Zach the other day about his guys on the fence crew. Do you require them to wear steel toes? He's like, yep. And I'm like, all right, well, we need to know what size they are. If you're going to pay for those shoes, make sure you have those steel toes for them on day one. Don't let them be running around in hey dudes. Um, phone, email. I don't think a lot of the folks on the phone are going to have that situation, but I can't tell you how nice it is. You've got day one and it's like, here's your phone, here's your laptop, your email is already set for you. I mean, what a clean experience. So again, this document is really for you so that you have your stuff together. Day one, it's an amazing experience. Who they report to, the name of the person that they're training them, that onboarding plan that Fiona and I just walked through, that's ready to go. And where you're going to be, what time. So you can't be too detailed on this onboarding plan for yourself to keep yourself in check to make sure it's a good experience for your new hire. Because if you elevate yourself and you just even do a couple of these things right, that new hire is going to come in and go, wow, they got their shit together. Like, I need to elevate my game because these expectations are up there. I'm working on
Let's keep
myself,
our
John.
G rating on YouTube, please.
Yep. We're 56 minutes in. We're good, John. YouTube doesn't care at 56 minutes. All right,
Only
here we go.
46 in because we started 10 minutes late, but okay.
Potato, potato.
Good.
All right, so here's your call to action. Thank you, Fiona, so much for doing that with me. I want to start with these calls, getting you guys. I love spending the hour with you. I love spending the hour with John. It means nothing if you don't leave here and go make it happen and go take action. So what I'm asking you guys to do is take 30 minutes after this call. I know it was an hour. I know it's hard. You're probably in a truck. Hopefully you have your notebook with you. Take 30 minutes, take 15 minutes. I don't care. Write a simple 30-day plan for your next new hire. If you don't have anybody coming up, okay, you can throw that out the door. Fine. But it doesn't have to be formal. It just has to be usable. The next call to action, build your personal onboarding checklist. Flip the page in your notebook. Write some key things down that your new hire is going to need. And what if you're like me, you'll start a list and then I'll go to bed at night and I can't sleep and my head's churning and then I'll go, "Ooh, I forgot that." Right? So if you've got your working list, then you can just add to it. This is a living, breathing document. This is going to change over time and it should change over time. It shouldn't be something that's so fixed that you can't be moldable and roll with it. And then finally, this is your call to schedule a one-on-one with your employee. Not all of you have new employees. Some of you may have people who've been there for a year, but my call to action today is schedule a one-on-one with your employee, invite them to coffee, invite them to lunch, invite them to dinner, ride in the truck with them. Don't just make them go to the lease pasture by themselves. Ask the question, hey, is there anything unclear? And then just listen. All right. I'm leaving you guys with, I couldn't find the author of this quote, but I love it. The best time to be clear was on day one with your new hire. The second best time to be clear was today. And I don't care if today's day 2, today's day 92, or 462. The next best time is today. So take those call to actions. And these are my final thoughts that I'll leave you with today. Everything we've gone through, the training, it's not about perfection. It's about giving direction. They want to know what success looks like. Remember that scoreboard, our 3 R's. All of this early structure is going to prevent late stage problems. And again, with the quote, you don't have to overhaul everything. One clear conversation, one simple plan can really change the trajectory of your new hire. That's what I got today, John.
One thing you do really well in these forums that you create is keep us out of the trap of perfectionism. I think I've shared before that I have one sister that is a perfectionist and she never gets anything done, right? If we just start with the basics, that's often good. Another thing I love is do an AAR after onboarding, because a lot of times people will tell you what they didn't have, what they didn't know, what they wished they had known. And man, those can be really easy things to add in. And it's good to get their opinion on what they needed to know as much as your opinion, once they're up and going. Good. Excuse me. Apparently we're having a crisis here.
Okay. We're talking about tantrums today, so it's fine.
Wow. Well, I don't know what this is. We'll see. It's Thursday after school. We're tired by this time of the week, so. Good. Cool. Any other questions? What thoughts do we have? I love the idea of managing people in a stewardship, and over again, it's easy to turn that over too quickly. So we really want to spend as much time, more time than we think we should, quote unquote, micromanaging and not really micromanaging, but giving very clear direction to get a better outcome for everybody involved. And I would certainly reinforce the point you made at the beginning that hiring someone initially increases your workload by an insane amount. So it's not a short-term move. Yeah, I got her. So anyway, awesome. Emily, this is really good stuff. Thank you
Progress
all for
over
coming.
perfection, everybody.
Yeah, sounds good. Just out of curiosity, the Sarah that asked this question, what Sarah is that? You don't have to reveal yourself, but I'm just curious. But maybe I'm never going to know. Okay, well, good. Hey, nice to see all of you. Hope to see you down in Alabama. If not, we will see you in a month. First Thursday of next month, we will be doing another webinar on how to build a better business. So look forward to seeing you then. Hope you guys have a great February. We'll talk soon.
Good job, Emily.
Thanks. Thanks, guys.
Great job.
Thanks for including us.
See y'all in Alabama.
Crosswinds Farm in New York. Ah, okay, cool. All right, we'll see you later.